Yeah. So if you think that being a real estate agent is I just show up to work 9 to 5, go home, clock out, that's wrong. You are the CEO all the way down to the janitor.
When's the last time you clocked in or clocked out?
I haven't clocked out yet.
So speaking of that, Dave. So, which is really good. So you kind of offer, or home sellers, you and Johnny, you guys kind of offer an option that provides the same type of quality as a big box office brokers, like I'm not going to name their names, but we know, but at much more value to them, where they're not coming out $2,000 a month on desk fees, right? We've seen some of those. Mm-hmm. So with that said, if I was a new agent, and you guys don't have to get into too much details, but how many different types of programs do you guys have for a new agent coming in? Say, for instance, mentorship. This would be 80-20 or 90-10, stuff of that nature. Do you guys have separate programs or separate game plans for new agents?
Yeah, so for us, again, like I said, we understand that we cater to brand new agents. So we did, right from the get-go, we created, it's named the mentorship program, okay? And what it is it's kind of, it's a two-part program that takes somebody from knowing nothing of real estate to getting them a baseline. They're not going to be an expert, okay? But we want them to, at least when they get out there, they know about FHA loans. They know about, buyer representation contracts, about these, baseline things that a real estate agent should know about.
What do you mean they don't learn that at
The
Minnesota
realty
School of Business?
Yeah,
Or
so
School of Real Estate? Yeah.
So I have friends that are in the real estate education space, and they do great work. But the honest truth is that their job is to really teach you about the test and to pass your test. Okay.
Correct.
But how to run your business, the baseline of being a real estate agent, the practical knowledge. You don't really get that in those 90-hour courses.
Yep.
Okay. So that's where where the broker's job comes in. Okay. We're supposed to take them from passing their test to actually helping them set up their business and them being successful.
Friends, you guys hear that? You guys are setting up a business. So the biggest thing about this is that you're coming in, yes, to be a real estate agent, but more importantly, you're coming in as a business entity. So when you guys are joining brokerage firms, you actually want to find brokerage firms like this where they have your best interest at heart, where you're just not another number, not just another transaction. They're taking you in and they're training you how to be a walking, talking billboard, a walking, talking business, so that you know how to allocate your costs, you know how to allocate your time so that you guys can be successful. Not only that, David, I also hear that at Home Sellers, do you guys still have, is it business ownership opportunities or something? What is it called?
So
David?
we have different incentive programs there. So again, another thing that I started when I created the brokerage was the opportunity for agents to share in the success of the brokerage. Okay, it's called the partnership program. Okay, because in real estate, let's just say if I work for a brokerage for 30 years as an agent, right, and I make them millions of dollars, right, when I leave, what do I get?
Zero.
Nothing.
Yeah,
right,
nothing.
because I was a 1099 contractor. That brokerage didn't belong to me. Remember, when I became a real estate agent, I was my own business. Mm-hmm. The brokerage is its own business. Yep. I made them money. I grew their brokerage for them, right? But I don't have no equity in that business.
Yep.
Okay? So maybe I might get a handshake,
Yeah.
A
but
gold watch.
Yeah, you'd be lucky. Okay, you'd be lucky. Okay? So I didn't like that concept. Okay?
Yeah.
I understood that, hey, if an agent joins my company, they are going to really be the ones out there promoting the company, growing the company, making money for the company. So why shouldn't they benefit the same thing as I benefit, right? So that's the reason why I created the partnership program, where after they meet certain metrics, then they can have the opportunity to become partners in the business that they're part of. Okay, that's one of the main things that sets us apart. And I know that some bigger brokerages do offer similar type plans and stuff, but one of the things that differs us from them is that a lot of brokerages, especially the larger publicly traded brokerages, they will offer like common stock. Anybody can go on the stock exchange and buy.
Yeah, and buy stocks.
That's what their agents are getting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here, it's not that. It's private stock, so private equity. Okay, so they're getting the same benefits that me, the owner, is getting. Okay, so if we have a large cash event, the agents are benefiting. If we ever go public, the agents will benefit. If we ever get sold, the agents will go benefit. I talked to one agent. She's part of a large. I think she still is part of a large brokerage, but she said that she was there for a long time, and she's one of their top producing agents. And she said one day she walked in the office, and there was just new management there. And so she called up her old broker, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I sold the brokerage, and he made a lot of money, but she didn't get nothing, and now she's just part of a brand new brokerage." Which if that's what it is, that's fine. But for me, I don't know. I think whoever helped me create the brokerage, grow the brokerage, they should benefit just as me. That's just my thought, though.
So that's what you guys want, or that's what I would want if I'm looking for a brokerage firm. If I don't have any experience in sales, I go, well, who in your office has done sales or has a proven track record, and that's who I'm plugging myself into. Then when it comes to Dave, I've known Dave for probably about a decade. Real estate in itself is a very big, grand terminology. Within it, there's a ton of stuff or a ton of ways to make money. You have retail sales, you have wholesaling, you have foreclosure, you have building, you have tons of stuff.
Lending,
right? So the thing
Thanks. Appreciate you.
The thing with Dave is that Dave has experience in all those stuff. So he's a builder. He's a real estate investor at heart. I think first and foremost, Dave, you're, a real estate investor at heart, but he's a business builder at heart. I don't know if I'm saying that correct or not.
No, yeah.
But if you guys are getting into real estate, I think that's the number one thing that you want to do is like, okay, so I'm not really getting myself into a job, but I'm really trying to build a business.
Well, and then having that atmosphere of like it being a family, right? You feel close, you feel good. You don't feel like you're going to get stabbed in the back because somebody's going to take your deal or somebody's going to do something like that. That's important because you work hard at doing the things that you do every day. And if somebody comes in there and tries to capitalize on what you're doing, it's not a very good feeling. And that's something that
you both hit it right on the head, because like in our industry, so to be frank and be honest, right? New agents or agents in general, they join brokerages not really for the benefit that brokerage provides them. They kind of join brokerages that they're comfortable with, right? Their friends are there. That's really more important. I say this, right? Agents pick brokerages the same way clients pick agents.
Yeah, true. It's true. That's what it is.
Never looked at. I learned something new again.
Yep.
As a broker, as talking to hundreds and hundreds of agents, talking to hundreds and hundreds of clients, I've seen the same things that they do. So that's really how they decide. And if I could give some advice to brand new agents is, I understand that. That's comfortable. That's human nature, right? Mm-hmm. Because in the real estate industry, we deal a lot with human nature, especially as real estate agents, probably as lenders too. So in humans, we have the same tendency. So if you're a brand new agent looking for a brokerage, try to look for one that's going to benefit you more than one that your friends or your cousin or whatever is at. Just for the fact that there's a lot of different brokerages out there, and thank you to Fong for kind of putting us on a pedestal. But again, I like to make it honest to everybody that home sellers is not for everybody, right? But we can accommodate almost anybody, but we're not for everybody. Okay, some might prefer different offerings that other brokerages have,
and you may not prefer them.
Exactly, they might not be a good fit here. Going to what you talked about earlier about being a business owner. That's the other thing that I really kind of preach to my agents is that you're not a real estate agent first at Home Sellers. Mm-hmm. Okay, you are a business owner first. Okay, because learning the technical aspects of being a real estate agent, showing houses, writing contracts, almost anybody can learn that.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do, right? And you're gonna do that, and of course your day-to-day stuff. But being a business owner, that's hard to teach. Okay, having that mindset, right? Because if they're not ready to do that, or they're not willing to become a business owner, it's gonna be very hard for them. Okay, because having a real estate license doesn't automatically mean you're gonna get clients walking through the door.
Most of the time you don't.